Is it a worthy sequel? Is it a game changer? Or is it just another RPG that'll leave you frustrated? Well, I've spent hours in this medieval world, and I've got the answers you're looking for. But be warned, what I found might surprise you. This is not your average RPG. It's brutal, immersive, and unforgiving. The question is, do you have what it takes to survive in this world? Let's get straight into it. A true sequel, bigger, better, tougher. If you played the first Kingdom Come, you know how unique it was. A hardcore RPG that didn't hold your hand. And this sequel, it picks up right where the first game left off. Henry of Skalitz is back, and the world feels even more alive, more detailed, and yes, even more punishing. Right away, you'll notice the improvements. The graphics, stunning. The world, massive. The story, even more engaging. But here's the thing, this is still a hardcore RPG. If you were expecting an easy ride, think again. You start off weak, you'll get beaten up, you'll fail. But if you stick with it, the feeling of progression is insane. That's what makes this game so special. You earn every bit of progress. Challenging but rewarding. Let me tell you something right now. This game does not care about your feelings. The tutorials? Overwhelming. The save system? Brutal. Unless you've got a save potion, you're risking losing 40 minutes of progress in a heartbeat. And lockpicking? Oh man, even after they improved it, I still hate it. But here's the thing, when you finally master the mechanics, when you stop getting your ass kicked in every fight, when you figure out how to actually survive, that's when the magic happens. The first game was about going from zero to hero. This time, you go from capable fighter to absolute badass. But be warned. If you're new to this series, the first few hours will test your patience. You will feel lost. You will feel weak, but if you stick with it, it's one of the most satisfying RPGs you'll ever play. Do you need to play the first game? If you haven't played the original Kingdom Come, Deliverance, you might be wondering, do you need to? The game does give you a quick recap of past events, so you won't be completely lost. But let's be real, this is a direct sequel. The story, the characters, the world, it all builds on what came before. If you want the full experience, I highly recommend either playing the first game or at least watching a detailed recap. Trust me, it'll make a huge difference. But even if you're jumping in fresh, the game is still an unforgettable experience. Just expect a bit of a learning curve. The story, the characters, and the world. This game is not just about the gameplay, the story and characters are just as important. And wow, did they go all in this time. From the very first cutscene, it's clear this is next level storytelling. The dialogue is sharp, the voice acting is top tier, and the way the cutscenes are framed, absolutely cinematic. And let's talk about the world for a second. This isn't some generic fantasy setting. It's realistic, grounded, and dripping with history. Every village, every castle, every tavern feels authentic. It's not just a game, it's a full-blown medieval experience. And the characters? Memorable. You'll meet knights, nobles, thieves, mercenaries, all with their own unique personalities and motivations. Whether you're befriending a noble or getting into a drunken brawl at a wedding, the game makes sure every interaction feels meaningful. Freedom to play your way. One of the best things about Kingdom Come. Deliverance II is the freedom. You're not just following a set path, you can carve your own way through the world. Want to be an honorable knight? Train in sword fighting, master diplomacy, and become a respected warrior. Want to be a rogue? Sneak through enemy camps, pickpocket nobles, and become a shadow in the night. Or maybe you just want to be a complete menace, lying, cheating, stealing your way through the world. Well, you can do that too. And the best part? The game reacts to your choices. If you fail a persuasion check, the story keeps going, just in a different direction. If you choose violence, expect consequences. Every decision you make matters, and the game adapts in ways that'll blow your mind. Is the combat still brutal? Short answer? Yes. The first game was known for its deep, realistic melee combat, and this sequel takes it even further. The directional swordplay is back, but this time it's faster, smoother, and more responsive. But don't get it twisted. This is not an easy combat system. If you're expecting hack and slash, you're in for a rude awakening. You need to time your attacks, read your opponent, and know when to block, dodge, or parry. And if you're bad at sword fighting, well, let's just say you're gonna see the game over screen a lot. But here's the thing. When you finally get good at it, when you start landing master strikes, when you win a fight you had no business winning, that's when the combat becomes truly satisfying. And it's not just swords this time, you've got crossbows, new melee weapons, and even early firearms. That's right. Primitive guns, or as they call them, boomsticks. Oh, and did I mention you get a dog companion? His name's Mutt, and you need to get him as soon as possible. He's not just for show, he'll help in fights, track down enemies, and even find hidden loot. Stealth, exploration, and survival. Swinging swords isn't your thing. Stealth is a legit option in this game. And let me tell you, it actually works. Sneaking into enemy camps at night, stealing from bandits, and slipping away undetected. Incredibly satisfying. But be warned, stealth isn't perfect. Sometimes the AI can be a little inconsistent. 1 second, guards ignore you. The next, they're on high alert for no reason. But when stealth works, it feels amazing. I once had to steal an item from a camp full of bandits. Instead of fighting, I waited until they were asleep, crept in, took what I needed, and left without a trace. And the game acknowledged that. The dialogue changed, NPCs noticed, and the world reacted to my actions. This level of attention to detail is what makes Kingdom come. Deliverance II feels so alive. And then there's the survival aspect. This isn't Skyrim where you can run around for days without eating or sleeping. Your character has needs. If you don't eat, you get weak. If you don't sleep, your combat suffers. Hunger is still in the game, but it feels a little less punishing than the first one. You won't constantly be starving, but you still need to pay attention to what you eat and when you sleep. The realism makes the game more immersive, but it's something to keep in mind if you're expecting a casual experience. The world feels alive. Now let's talk about one of the biggest improvements, the world itself. The first game already had an impressive medieval world, but this time, it's on another level. The cities feel huge. Villages feel alive. The forests feel dense and mysterious. You're not just running from objective to objective, you're actually exploring. And the level of detail is insane. I was riding through the countryside when I stumbled upon an abandoned hut. Inside, a half-written letter and a skeleton. What happened there? Who lived there? The game doesn't spell it out for you, it just leaves these little pieces of the world for you to discover. And that's what makes this game so immersive. It's not forcing you to go from quest to quest, it's rewarding you for simply existing in its world. Performance and technical issues. Alright, let's get into the big question. How does the game run? Because let's be honest, the first Kingdom Come? It was rough at launch, but good news, this sequel runs way better. I've played for hours and my experience has been mostly smooth. No major crashes, no game-breaking bugs, just a couple of flickering shadows and one endless loading screen that forced me to restart. But compared to the first game, this is a huge improvement. That said, there are still a few quirks. NPCs sometimes don't react properly to dialogue. Guards randomly change their minds about arresting you. And sometimes characters mime drinking out of an invisible mug. Is it perfect? Number, is it way more polished than the original at launch? Absolutely, and there's a day one patch coming, so performance should only get better from here. Final thoughts. Who is this game for? Look, I'm going to be real with you, this game is not for everyone. If you want an easy, fast-paced RPG, this ain't it. But if you love deep, immersive, and realistic RPGs that challenge you, force you to adapt, and make you earn your success, then this is one of the best RPGs you'll play this year. The combat is brutal, the world is massive, the story is compelling, and most importantly, it feels like a real adventure. This is not just another generic open-world RPG. It's something special. If you made it this far, then I know you love deep RPGs. And if you do, hit that subscribe button right now. Because I'm bringing you more breakdowns, more reviews, and more in-depth gaming content just like this. Don't miss out. Subscribe now, and as always, see you in the next Johnny Hard video, and remember to stay hard.
Go fuck yourself. At him. He's got no chance alone. Strike.